Hello, folks. Welcome to the No Pro Football Show. I'm Bobby. With me today, I have three esteemed guests. We're going to start with you, Gina.
Hey guys, it's Gina from She Talks Football, the She Talks Football podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at She Talks Football. Please go follow my YouTube channel, She Talks Football. And then follow me on The Undroppables. That is the platform that I'm on. Content creators platform called The Undroppables. Lots of football, lots and lots of fantasy. So make sure you follow The Undroppables on Twitter and on YouTube. And you can also listen to the audio versions of my podcast on Anchor, on Apple, on Spotify, and many others.
All right, Jay.
I'm Jay. You can follow me on Twitter at jquan625.
And our newest and first time guest, Jeremy.
What's going on, everybody? Jeremy, aka Mr. Germ So True, in the building. Scene representative, the Scen, THESCEN. If you ain't been around, you will see we got big things coming. That's the Scene on Facebook, the Scene on Instagram, the Scene on Instagram, Scene _ the Twitter. Make sure you check out all those handles. And then let's get this thing going. I'm here. I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to start first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. First quarter, we're going to go over the scores and game talk as usual. The Bengals beat the Jaguars 24-21. That was expected.
That was actually a good game, though.
It was.
It was. Jaguars played pretty decent that game. Jets beat the Titans 27-24.
What?
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's start with our newest guest. Jerm, do you have anything on that game?
That was one of those games in particular that I felt like it wasn't really an upset to me because the way the Titans have played all season, the offensive line, as I talked about early in the season, the offensive line seems to have regressed in a lot of different ways. They lost Conklin to Cleveland a couple of years ago, and it just seems like they've been going backwards. I don't know what it is. As far as the Jets go, I think this is just a win from one of the first 3 weeks that they were supposed to have gotten. I just think it just came against a team that's kind of struggling. And for all those Tannehill fans, all I'm gonna say is he was never that dude like that. You got a great year out of him, and then y'all expected 4 or 5 of them. Be smarter than that. Y'all smarter than that, man.
All right, Gene, what's your take on it?
So yeah, it was interesting. I wish I had thought about picking the Jets. Actually, it was after we had already put the picks in, so it was too late. But when I found out that the Jays were not playing, as in AJ and JJ, I was like, oh, one-dimensional offense is all going to be on Derrick Henry. Yeah, you can stop Derrick Henry. So this is, and I literally thought this may be the game that the Jets actually get their first win, and they did. Without him having any targets to throw to, it was going to be an issue for sure. But because of the division that they're in, they're still leading their division. But yep. I was actually happy for the Jets. I was kind of rooting for them, to be honest. I wanted them to get a game in. And so, I mean, it was almost like a championship because they literally dumped the Gatorade thing over the coach. So I thought that was actually kind of funny. So yeah, I'm happy for the Jets win. I actually have a couple really good Jets fans on Clubhouse, and Lord, they just get in there and bellyache, but they rep for their team, so I know they're super happy this week. So shout out to Chris, shout out to Rage, shout out to Ian.
All right, Jay, you have anything there?
I mean, I had a feeling they was going to win. The Titans defense is, so that was one reason. I don't know why I didn't pick them though. My mind was contemplating on who to choose between the Titans and the Jets, but I had a feeling they was. I'm excited for Zach Wilson though because it looked like he was going down the wrong path to his rookie season. So hopefully he can bring it up in these next couple of games they got.
Yeah, I was definitely excited for Zach, but I was kind of I was a little impressed with the Jets defense too. I think they played pretty well. I mean, it was a one-dimensional Titans, but I think all in all, I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. Bears beat the Lions 24-14. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect that. I thought that the
I didn't
Lions
either.
were going to win that game. Anybody else thought that?
Yeah, I did mostly because in the previous game, Justin Fields had less than a second to throw the ball. Like, or less than a second. Like, it's hard to do anything if your O line can't hold water. So I'm like, what? This Bears O line is trash. The Bears defense is not, they've been unremarkable. I thought they were going to come in like banging it up this season, and they have not. And so, with me not having any confidence in their defense and their offensive line being horrible, even though Justin Fields is Justin Fields, I just didn't see it coming. And I thought the Lions played the Ravens like pretty hard, and they have a good running game. And so I thought this really was going to be the Lions' first win, but not so.
Jerm, what you think?
I never thought that because the Lions is one of them teams that they don't play 60 minutes. They play about 29 and a half. And it's normally one good half of football. Like when they played the Ravens, they scored all 17 of their points in the second half. The same thing goes for the San Francisco game. They scored a lot of their points in the second half of the game. We're gonna call it in garbage time, trying to come back. And they kind of caught the 49ers, kind of napping. If you don't play 60 minutes, you're only going to win but so many games, regardless. You know what I'm saying? In this situation for the Lions, they don't play 60 minutes. And then the Bears defense at least does play 60 minutes. Every snap on the field, they make you earn something. And, when your quarterback right now, who is golf, is looking like in the first half, he was playing golf. I don't know what he was doing. It was one of those situations where I'm just confused as to what's wrong with this quarterback. But I think the Rams offense and this offense are different because you don't have those chain movers. And DeAndre Swift is their chain mover right now, and that's the guy out of your backfield. So they need to figure out how to better use T.J. Hawkinson because he can be used better, and then they need to get some better quick twitch receivers, and quick twitch meaning quick separation, small window winners, and that'll be the thing that'll get them to the next level because Cooper Kupp plays for the Rams still, and you can tell Jared's missing him.
Yep.
So Germ, even with TJ Hawkinson, I'm going to agree with you because they don't have any other receivers. All you do is double TJ.
Just bracket him. If you
Right.
bracket him, it's
That's
just
all. That's all you got to do. So then he's really their only offense, and so he can't get the ball to him because everybody's going to be on TJ.
yep. That's
Wow.
You got anything to add, Jay?
No, I just was shocked the way they played, and their defense looked a little not like the week before. So
All right.
I don't know.
Colts beat the Dolphins 27-17. Carson Wentz finally got his win.
Yeah, but what's going to happen with the Dolphins, man? I had such high hopes for them coming into the season. I thought they were going to pick up where they left off. Obviously, Tua. Look at Jared. I got to get my thoughts out. I'm busting out laughing, looking at his face. I didn't know what Tua was going to do coming into the season. I can't stand you right now, Jerm. I don't know what what he was going to do. Wait a minute, I gotta get my thought together now. I don't know what Tua was gonna do coming into this season, but I had hopes for him. He didn't. He said, "Oh, I didn't know the playbook." He was still healing, all this, that, and the other. So I'm just taking him at his word. So I'm like, okay, I want to see what he does this season. And they were close last season. They were almost in the playoffs. They were one game away from getting in there. So I mean, we were vying. They were vying, trying to get in there along with us. We just had to win out, and if we went out, we were in. So I really had high hopes for the Dolphins. So
All right, Jared.
man, I don't know.
What was the distress for?
I'm just so disgruntled when it comes to the Dolphins because the offense looks a lot like Tua's college offense, right? You got your intermediate threats, you got your fast guys that you can get the ball to in space and allow them to make plays for you. You got your deep threat with Will Fuller, who is playing what Devontae Smith was playing for them in the second year when he was the quarterback. And now we're looking at a situation in a transition where that offense is set up around his skill set. Then you come back, he gets hurt again, and now Jacoby Brissett comes in. Now Brissett is what he is. What my guy Mr. Green say? He was who he thought he was. At the end of the day, that's just where we are. The Dolphins play solid defense. They're going to continue to do that. But the problem all along is going to be, is this team going to be able to stand up in protection-based situations, number one. But number two, can Tua drink some milk or something to help them bones? I mean, I'm tempted to see if he can get a sponsorship with the Dairyman's milk. Somebody, one of these milk companies, go and sponsor him, get him some calcium because he need it. Because he's not able to keep himself healthy. And we all know health is wealth. Your body is that's your business in the NFL. And he's just not been able to stay healthy since his second year as a starter in college. And it's tough. But come on. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, the best ability is availability, but that's on the other side of that game too. I mean, Carson Wentz, like, he's just coming back off an injury again. So
yeah, walking hospital.
Exactly. Is he going to get hurt again this year? Or
but he has a better offensive line. In fairness to him, he missing the only white dude and probably in the history of mankind named Quentin on his offensive line. You know, Quentin is a name that when somebody named Quentin, it come with a little bit of that power pack punch. You know what I'm saying? You don't see you can't be Quentin to be a Jake dude. You know what I'm saying, on the field. So it's different for Carson because Carson got beat up with the Eagles. For Tua, he been getting beat since SEC days. And we know them college kids, they play hard, but in the NFL, this these grown men business to get you on the ground. Mm-hmm. That's how they feed their family. And you play in a division with a whole bunch of dudes that's focused on getting you on the ground. We talking the Titans still got Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons. It's a lot of players in that division that are focused on getting you to the ground, sir. So it's tough.
So basically, you're saying he's probably not going to last the rest of the year.
If the offensive line, it depends because this is now all my Chiefs fans. I'm gonna say this to y'all. Y'all killed Eric Fisher. Oh, it was all Eric Fisher. Y'all wanted him gone. Eric Fisher is the current left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. I don't want to hear nothing if Eric Fisher played better with them because we got Pat Mahomes drifting like he in Tokyo or something. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I passed the rock. Got to keep it going.
All right. Browns beat the Vikings 14-7. That was a good game. I think that was a good game. I
think the Browns played sloppy on offense though.
Baker Mayfield played like a trash can. He played like a trash can.
Not the whole. But to me, it's the same thing with OBJ. Every time OBJ is there, Baker Mayfield plays bad. Nobody else has noticed that?
I don't know if that's it, yo. And plus, Jarvis Landry wasn't even playing, so.
Exactly.
Wonder what the problem is with Baker? He ain't never played with a player with that type of ability. People gonna say Hollywood. Hollywood is not even on the same tier of Odell as a player. Hollywood is fast. We're talking about drag routes, fly routes. Odell can run every route. And on top of that, the problem with Odell in this offense is Baker is looking for him too much instead of letting him get open. Odell, when he played and he ran that little stop and go route, you see that the quick twitch ability is still there. So you see that the feet, he still can put them down and get them back, get the engine back going again. You can see he does all the small things. Baker just plays like a trash can in big games. We're going to call it what it is. The interception in the Chiefs game was atrocious. It should have never been thrown. The plays that he's making, the interception he threw in the Texans game, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, Baker has problems with accuracy in big games. I ain't going to say it again because look at how he played in the Chiefs game last year. Too many missed opportunities, too many missed throws. We're talking throws you're supposed to make, and you can't make them throws? See this phone right here? It don't hurt to call 1-800 Houston Texans and say, can I get Deshaun Watson for?
Oh,
it don't hurt to call
Don't
nobody.
want none of that in the AFC North. None of that.
Yeah, I know. Don't nobody want that in the world because this Browns roster is the best in football. They have one of the 3 best offensive lines. They're 4 deep at every position, and on top of that, they have the best running game in football. They had 4 running backs. Like who has these riches? Baker. You on the clock.
All right, Washington football team beat the Falcons 34-30. It's no need to even talk about that game. Bills beat the Texans 40-0. Moving on. Giants beat the Saints 27-21. I was surprised by that.
And overtime, right? Or was that the end of regulation?
Overtime.
Yeah,
it was overtime.
Overtime.
Yeah, that was I don't know.
I didn't
see that coming that way.
This is what I feel like, though. I was happy for Saquon Barkley because he played a lot better in that game than he has previously this year. And I don't know if it's still because of the injury or whatever, but I was happy for him that game. And the Saints, I mean, I don't think they played horrible. Truth be told, I didn't see the entire game, but I don't think that they played horrible. But it was just one of those things to me. Like,
was Sterling and Galladay still out? They were still out, right?
No, Galladay was there.
Galladay was there, but Sterling was out.
I'm not sure if Sterling was out or not.
Sterling out for the season?
All that's cool, y'all. Y'all want me to tell y'all why the Saints lost? I'm gonna tell you why the Saints lost. 60-minute football. Jameis ain't played 60 minutes in college, in high school. He the only thing he done for 60 minutes is eat crab legs, Chief. That's about it. I'm sorry to say it, but this is the problem. This is why the Bucks, when it got the GOAT, in order for them to achieve championship aspirations, we got to play better, Jameis, in these situations. You have no excuse. You have the best player on the field most of the time when you step out there with 41. 41 is a bad dude. 41 did whatever he wanted in that game. There is no excuses for him to not have more touches, and there is no excuse for you not to be able to put this Giants team away. They ran the ball well. You still got one of the best offensive lines tackle to tackle in football. They have no excuse. None. The Saints are another team. They have everything you can ask for. They can rush the passer. They can defend the pass. They got the offensive line. They got the running backs. The only thing that we can say that they're missing is they're missing Slant Boy.
Wait, so is he gonna play this season or
he'll be back like week 8, 9, 10, something like that. That'll be when we'll see what the Saints offense really is gonna be. But they don't have the methodical quarterback now. They got a big play guy that likes to push the ball down the field. If I can't push the ball down the field, then it takes away why is Jameis my quarterback if I'm not going to get the weapons to push the ball down the field? This is an air raid. This is an air raid or a Air Coryell type of a quarterback. This is not an EP. This is not a West Coast quarterback. Stop the madness. Please stop the madness.
All right. Chiefs beat the Eagles 42-30. The Eagles are wait a minute. Before we move on, let me say something. That one play in that Saints game, Taysom Hill looked like Mike Allstott running for that touchdown.
He's running the boys over.
Running for that touchdown. I was like, wow, that was nice. That was pretty. I got to give it to him. Why is that boy not a running back? I don't know, but man, The first when I saw that play, the first thing popped in my mind was Mike Allstott. Any of us remember who Mike Allstott is? I know you do, Jeremy, right?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, big boy.
Yep.
But you
Big
know
boy.
what? I'm gonna tell you this. You want to know what's so funny about that? Taysom Hill is probably the best athlete on that football team,
Absolutely.
and they got him playing quarterback.
I think he
Yeah,
wants
that-
to play quarterback.
He wants to play quarterback.
In life,
like
it ain't
it's-
about.
it's-
In life, it ain't about what you
I
want.
feel like it's like a Lamar thing. People want to make you a running back. He wants to be a quarterback.
See, never mind. Go ahead, John. Go ahead,
Right.
girl.
Chiefs beat the Eagles 42-30. Cowboys
I mean,
beat
the Eagles gave him a hard way to go in that game. I was hoping the Eagles could pull that out.
Just
Yeah,
defense is
they
garbage.
couldn't get
They couldn't do nothing with Tyreek Hill.
they couldn't get Tyreek Hill out of the game.
That
Like they
dude
couldn't
ran
they
all
couldn't stop
around.
that
He
boy.
ran roughshod on that field.
They don't have.
did.
They haven't had no DB since Michael Jenkins left three
Yeah, that's
years
true.
ago.
That's absolutely true.
Like I don't. Y'all don't even. They don't even draft DBs no more. They just say, "Hey, you from the street, come play DB."
Tyreek was
Yeah.
all over that field, doing flips in the end zone, running here, running there, running everywhere.
Some of that was just bad defensive scheming too, though. A part of that was bad defensive scheming in my eyes.
Well, what do you want them to do? They can't. They can't turn their hips.
They gotta do something better than that. First of all, you gotta have somebody over the top on Tyreek Hill. You can't just you can't play those zones and let him just run willy nilly all over the field. You
But-
can't.
In fairness, the zone is what stopped the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So everybody is trying to keep everything in front of them.
Yeah, but
Which-
that's what stopped the Chiefs with an injured quarterback and a jacked up offensive line. This is not the same thing.
That offensive line still ain't that good. I'm gonna call it.
They're not great, but they're better than that injured offensive line that played in the Super Bowl.
Hey, listen, Pat Mahomes. I'm gonna talk about him next week. He on my SH list because I see some things. I see some things that he doing. He BSing. I don't like it.
What's SH?
Yeah.
SH is what how my grandma used to call it when it was, he on my list.
That's an abbreviation.
Yes.
Cowboys beat the Panthers 36-28. Listen, I think Cowboys are for real. I might be biased. I love them, but I think those dudes are for real on both sides of the ball. Now the defense I'm not saying the defense is great, but it's good enough that offense can do what it needs to do.
Right, but
think.
the Panthers got 28 points without
They
CMC.
did, and that was without CMC.
CMC.
Right. So that wasn't a good look, but I still think they're for
Not
real.
at all.
I'm kind of torn with that because them touchdowns came in garbage time. They was down 30 something to 14. They had to score. I mean, and to be honest with you, Sam Darnold, I scouted that guy thoroughly. I try to tell people he ain't that dude like that. Y'all need to slow down. He's a little wild and erratic. That second interception that he threw to Baby Diggs, yes, he threw it to Baby Diggs. There is no reason on a comeback that you allow a DB to get his feet up and his body centered and his feet up under him and drive on the ball like that. You put it right where Diggs could get it. You're supposed to throw it to the outside shoulder. He throws it to the inside shoulder, and that's why I got picked. Sam is not the answer for Carolina. This is your bridge. You better find a quarterback because you're gonna waste everything that that defense is still growing. This is only year 2 of it. This defense is going to be special. I'm letting y'all know now. It's going to be special. They got a lot of players they're not going to be able to keep.
I disagree with you about Sam Darnold. I think he can be something. I'm not saying he's going to be a great quarterback, anything like that. But I think he's going to get better over time. To me, in my mind, this is his first year where he's actually had a chance to even try to prove anything. So I'm thinking that he's going to be okay. I really do. I really believe he's going to be okay.
Well, in all due respect, Bobby. I mean, where else can he go when he in the basement?
I mean, that's true, but I'm just saying, like, I think he's going to be fine as their quarterback. I
He
do.
actually has more rushing touchdowns than anybody else. Did y'all know that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
don't.
heard that.
Let me tell you something. Every time they come out with a stat, I get annoyed. I don't care about that. Where the wins at?
Yeah, well, that's not just
Well,
on him though. That's the entire team. But the fact that your quarterback can run in for touchdowns, no, I do like that. Definitely want
well, I
that.
mean, but they're 3-1, so it's not like they're necessarily losing. It's still early in the season.
I just want y'all to know next time I come back on the show, we're gonna be like Nelly because they going down, down, baby, yo, straight in the lane, boom, boom. Yeah,
Well,
it's about to get bad.
for grantedly, their schedule, their first 3 games before they played the Cowboys was like not so good teams. But I still think that they played the Cowboys a lot better than I thought, though.
And I
Well,
think the
Especially the first
Cowboys
half.
are a good team though. And I think the Cowboys
Right.
are a good team.
Yeah, they are,
So
and they played them. They played them pretty good. I mean,
Who they play next
decent.
week?
Who, the Panthers?
Yeah, who the Panthers play next week?
Wait a minute, let me
I don't
check.
know.
gotta look it up.
Just,
Everybody
what's
going
their
to
next?
their
What's their
devices.
next 3 games? 2-3 games. Let's see.
Checking. Anyway, while you all are looking that for that, the Seahawks beat the 49ers 28-21. I thought for sure that was going the other way. I really did.
Well, it did, but
I
Russ
always
cooked.
yeah, but that's the problem with the Seahawks is that's all they have on offense is Russ cooking. I mean, he's great, but is that always going to be enough? I don't know about that. They got to do something with that offensive line.
Ain't
Panthers
nobody
playing
stopping
the
you.
Eagles.
This is
next.
that big pun moment. It's so hard. See, look, I'm gonna be honest. Their problem is they defense ain't worth a blood nickel.
Not at all.
Seattle's defense has progressively gotten worse since
Right.
2014.
Right.
Yeah.
Progressively.
This is
Like,
Legion of Boom.
It just keeps getting worse. Then they find a solution. They bring in Jamal Adams. Okay, cool. But you don't have the player that complements him. You're wasting one of the best linebackers we probably will ever see in football, and Mr. Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner. Absolutely.
You're wasting that. That is a sensational player. And then you're wasting Jamal. Those 2 dudes are incredible. Like, incredible. I just don't know what Pete is trying to achieve with this defense. He went from the cover 3 look to the cover 2 look, and the cover 2 is getting them cooked worse. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. Russ, throw for 10,000 yards, bro. Sierra's husband. Contacting Sierra's husband. Please keep throwing it for them yards.
Well, that's all they have. So Cardinals beat the Rams 37-20. I did see that coming.
Yeah.
I definitely saw that coming.
The only undefeated team in the NFL now.
Yeah, they are. It's not gonna last, but they are.
It's okay. Now, Jaquan, did you watch the show on Sunday?
No, I missed it.
You missed Views and Dues on Sunday. So
Yeah,
when we did the pregame show, I explained. I said the Cardinals have everything that makes them a team that the Rams cannot beat. It's 2 things you got to do to beat the Rams. Number 1, you got to be able to play man coverage. Because if you play zone, Cooper Kupp is going to – that is the sauciest white receiver I have ever seen. He hit Carlton Davis with a head fake on a whip route that I turned around. I turned around in my chair. I said, whoa. I said, that boy had collard greens before the game. That's some serious sauce right there for a receiver. But you can't play zone against him. You got to be able to match up man to man outside, and you got to be able to hit the receivers. But most importantly, on the other end, you got to challenge Jalen Ramsey. You can't go away from him. You got to challenge him. And they have the guys to do that. And then you challenge them not in short and tight windows. You challenge them vertically. So as you've seen when AJ Green caught that 41-yard touchdown, he just put the DB on his back. Mm-hmm. They have all of the components for them to be that team. And then Kyler Murray is a nightmare to keep in the pocket. He's fat. I'm going to tell you all this, and this is something. He will be the first quarterback of this rushing era that will challenge for a Super Bowl. He'll be the first one.
It's Lamar.
He's the best. He's a much better passer than Lamar. We're not going to go there today. We'll save that for another day. I'll show you the film another day, guys. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch him throw the ball. Incredible. Did you see that little body? He with the C and everything. He is cold.
He won't be the first, but it's not because it won't necessarily be because of him. I think Lamar is in a better situation as far as what he's surrounded by.
I think him. I have him and Lamar making the Super Bowl eventually.
I would love to see
You
a
think
Ravens Cardinals
I
Super
don't.
Bowl. That
I
would
no. I don't want to see them play against each other.
I got just one question. You think that DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, to go with Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella from up the street in Cleveland, up the street. You think that supporting cast to go along with James Conner and Chase Edmonds is not a better supporting cast than the B-list receivers that the Ravens have?
Oh, they definitely have better receivers.
And they have better.
What about Cliff Kingsbury though?
See, but this offense fits what he does, which is the air raid up the field type of thing, because that's why they can challenge. That's what makes them interesting.
If you have DeAndre Hopkins, you pretty much already have better receivers than everybody else. So that's other than like Devontae Adams, but I get that. But
and that's not a shot at the Ravens, by the way, because I think supporting cast wise, now the side of the ball we got to talk about will be the defensive side. I think scheme wise, defensively for the Ravens, they're still holding teams to 17 points. That's the difference. If you want to be truthful, they're going to hold a lot of these underwhelming teams to under 20 points, because that's just what the Ravens. That's embedded in that culture. You know what I mean? That's the part of the ball that you have to worry about with the Cardinals. But if you can score 35, does it matter if you give up 25?
I will not be mad at it. I will not, because I am a fan.
I just love the way that they playing. They've gotten better, it looks like. And that's the most important part for Kyler. Continue to get better. Limit your turnovers. He didn't turn the ball over. And here we are.
And I want that narrative to be changed. I want that narrative to be changed, that QBs like Kyler, like Lamar, and some of these other ones, that they cannot win the Super Bowl. I want that narrative to be changed. So I want them to do it.
Well, Absolutely. But we also saw last year that the Cardinals got off to a hot start, and then at some point it just slid all the way down the hill. So we'll see. Packers beat the Steelers 27-17.
What's
now,
going
normally, I feel like normally you wouldn't expect that, but this year, it's some things going on with the Steelers that are maybe.
Jay, I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna break your heart, Jay. I'm about to break your heart.
It may have been a build up to this point that the reason why it's that way now, but. Man, it's not looking good over there. Like I normally don't get concerned about the Steelers at all, because they can just do things. But this year, for some reason, I'm a little concerned about what's going on. But I'll let you go ahead, Jay.
You okay, nephew?
I'm good. I don't think you should be concerned, though. I think that we're gonna turn it around. Here's the thing: one, offensive line is getting better. It's taking its time, but it's definitely getting a little bit better than what it did the last couple of weeks. We've actually opened some running lanes for Najee. It's like, that's a miracle. Like, at this point, we just fly at this point. Defensively, listen, I don't know what's going on there with our running defense. It's not looking good. You able to run, we've allowed like 2 people to run for like 80 yards on us in the last 3 games. So, I'm shocked about that. Jared, what you want to say? Because I think what you're about to say.
Can we talk about Ben?
I'll talk about Ben here in a second.
No, wait a minute. Let the brother finish. It's his team. So what you got to say about what's up with Ben?
I'm not going to say that it's full on his he's the problem, but he's definitely a part of the problem. Like, being though the fact that the offensive line can't block in the pass, he feels as though he has to get the ball out, and that's why for 4th and 2, we're throwing a check down to Najee instead of to the tight end that's over here open, because he's gonna go for his first read because he feel like he's gonna get hit. Ben has been sacked 10 times this year.
Wow.
That is
Through 4 games.
unlikely for us.
Here's let me say this. And when I say I'll get to Ben in a second, Ben is not even the main problem for the Steelers right now. Y'all want to know the main problem for the Steelers? What offense are y'all running? What's y'all philosophy? What is y'all hat? What hat do y'all put y'all when y'all take y'all hat off when y'all come in from a hard day's work? Do y'all put it on the rack? You put it on the bed? You throw it on the floor? Like what do you hang your hat on offense? Because you don't even have a staple. We don't run the ball enough to say that we run the ball. We throw way too many damn screens. If I see another wide receiver tunnel screens are the worst screens in the history of screens. It takes too long, and you have to be able to execute it with precision. It is too much of it in the offense. If I see Chase Claypool one more time going sideways where he should be going that way, I'm going to be upset. You like Migos? Oh, I'm a Migos fan. That way. That's where you're supposed to that way. I don't want that anymore. Ben is not the problem. The problem is what are we running? Because that's the other part. The second thing, why are we getting away from Ben's strong point, which is the no huddle? I haven't seen the no huddle at all this year. The no huddle is where the no huddle. That's where Brady, Ben, Aaron, all of these elite quarterbacks, that's where they make their money. Let him dictate the tempo. Let him get defenses into some of their base defenses and get some cheap yards. Y'all not doing that. Like, y'all don't do that. And then the offensive line, y'all just took a whole bunch of people and just said, hey, block for Ben. That's not how you get this done, man. He ain't 12, bro. He's not 12.
I know that.
He not 12. He can't make people better around him in that aspect of being able to get rid of the ball quickly. Because Ben is notorious for what? Holding the ball. He's been doing that since Mike Wallace days. Y'all act like Ben ain't never. No, he's never gotten rid of the ball quick. So
well, but the difference now is though that Ben used to be able to get away with that a little bit because he was slightly more agile and he was really hard to bring down. So he still was able to get the ball off. And
they had decent offensive linemen too.
That too. And then the philosophy for the Steelers used to be good defense, run the ball, and then the passes were just like I don't want to say extra, but I don't want to really use the word extra, but it was that was the other.
It was balanced in with him.
Right. So and now it's not like that. Like I think their biggest issue is they are not running the ball. They had 62 yards rushing that game. The Steelers had 62 yards rushing. And it's not like they have a bad running back because their running back seems to me like he's going to be really good in this league. So that's the problem.
When you get down, because again, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like I ain't mad at the fact that it's hard to try to defend from Devontae Adams to Randall Cobb to you got Dylan coming out the back, Aaron Jones, and it's like that was a lot for us, which I think we did a pretty good job at, minus the fact that they did score 27 points, but I think we did a pretty good job at it.
Well, but they only had 236 yards passing. Y'all had 220. So that was kind of even. But the rushing yards, they had 131 rushing yards. Y'all had 62.
That was combined for two running backs, though.
So, yeah, but even with that, let's add this one thing in there, too, just to tie it all in. Rushing yards, passing yards, but turnovers.
Yeah, that kills us as well.
All turnovers are not created equal. You're going to have some turnovers that hurt you worse. The Steelers get a turnover, and then they got a punt. What?
No, seriously, no.
What? Y'all don't run the ball, Bert. Y'all don't do nothing. What do y'all do? Tell me, Jaquan, what is the identity of the Steelers? Because y'all just look like Ben Roethlisberger. Y'all look like Michael Jackson and the Jackson. Y'all remember back in the day when Michael Jackson took over Jermaine's set and sang the song better than Jermaine? That's what it looked like somebody need to do to Ben right now. They need to come in there and run his offense for him so they can show him how to do it. Because I'm over this. I'm over this already. It's only week 4.
He's going to play this week. I don't think he's going to play this week because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jaquan, Jay, I've seen them. Tomlin is already saying Ben's hurt. So I think they're going to use that as a respectful out because you can't just go and bench the man. It will be disrespectful. I think it's going to be, oh, he's hurt, he can't play, and so I don't know who they're going to. I guess Mason. I guess they're going to throw Mason in. Do you think that Ben is going to play Sunday?
I do think Ben's gonna play Sunday. Unfortunately, not saying
I,
that he needs
I,
to
I,
retire, but he is playing hurt. He has a left pec injury and a hip injury.
And a hip
He's
injury, and your
been
pack. So
he's been
that's
taking
top and bottom.
hits. Like he's been taking a lot of hits.
well, I think his biggest injury is called being 39 years old and not being Tom Brady. Moving on though, Ravens beat the Broncos 23-7. I
Woo
know
woo.
Regina's going to talk on that, so go ahead, Gina.
I mean, everybody should want to talk on that game. So first of all, my man Lamar threw for 300. I think it was 17 yards. They beat him through the air. Running game wasn't even on point. Broncos had a good running defense. I don't even think we were trying to run super hard. I think we were just doing what the defense was showing us. And so we were airing it out. They were coming up close. Coach even said they watched the tape on them. They saw how they were always up close, linebackers up, so they just took advantage of that. And so they were airing the ball out. Love that pass that was basically 60 yards through the air to Marquise Brown and how that dude stretched out. He was parallel. He could have took a nap the way he was stretched out to get that ball. So I love that. I love even more so how he spread the ball around. We talked about it on my podcast. He threw to 6 different receivers. Like what? You're going to be successful anytime you can spread the ball around like that. Love to see Duvernay and Prochet be in the game finally. And I'm a big fan of Prochet. He's going to be that. I call him Anquan Bolden. Bobby, you call him Steve Smith, whatever. I like all of it. The way he contends for the ball, the way he gets that yak. I love him. I hope we are targeting him more. But I was quite upset about and definitely the O line has been improving. I got nervous when Villanueva went out with his ankle. I'm like, oh my Lord, sweet little baby Jesus. We don't need the O line breaking down. And so when Smith came in, it did kind of, they staggered around over there, but then he got the hang of it after a while. He didn't do too bad, especially for somebody who had not actually been playing all the time. So he actually started to get the hang of it. So that was cool. Did not like the unpenalized hits, late hits on Lamar. That just wasn't right, especially that one that was in his back. And I was like, and the coach and the referee was standing right there, didn't even bother calling it. And then, and I thought it was fun at the end where we got that interception because y'all was trying to score a garbage touchdown at the end. We intercepted it and then went on and ran the 5 yards to still have that 100-yard thing. So I
Yeah,
really
we're going to come back to that play right there too, or about that play right there. Anything else to add, Jeremy, Jay?
Denver. I just got one question. What was the backup plan if Teddy Bridgewater got hurt week 1? Because this has been a reoccurring thing with Denver. All that talent, what they say to the thick girls, all that jelly and no toes. All of that talent, and it just seems like y'all can't put it together. I mean, they're praying for Aaron Rodgers next year. They're praying for it. Because y'all know that's the rumblings. That's the word on the street. It's going to be the Broncos or the 49ers. That's the word on the street.
On that, yeah.
So it's a situation where I don't know that as far as the Ravens go, they are a team that has a certain recipe for success. It's called run the ball and set up a lot of things you do off of that. Lamar, we know what he is by now. Does he still have areas he can improve? Absolutely. But the one big thing that I'm noticing more or less this year is that he's doing his best to try to defy that narrative that teams have figured him out. And it's funny because it's motivating him. And I'm excited to see what happens when he plays better defenses. That's all I'm going to say.
You don't think the Broncos defense is good?
I think their secondary is good, but I just think that they were so out of position in everything that they did this week. Like that was a bracket coverage. Hollywood just beat them. We just gonna tip our caps to Hollywood on that. If you got a receiver fast like that, hey, he just beat the bracket coverage. Lamar made a good throw. It was an excellent throw. Perfect. I mean, could you hand it to him any better?
Not really.
So there you go. Could you give the credit where it's due? But I just think the Broncos front seven still gives me some room for me to say, hey, y'all still need some bodies up there. It's particularly linebackers. Linebackers are the biggest enforcers in your run game, especially if you got big bodies in the front that are occupying blocks. We see it on Baltimore side. Tell me if I'm wrong, Gina. Is Pat Queen filling these lanes like he needs to be filling the lanes in the run game for the Ravens? Absolutely not. He's not. That's why they mad at him now.
Right, he's not tackling right. But I disagree with you about their front seven. I mean, we didn't run a lot, but when we did run, yeah, we got about 2-3 yards. We did not have that whole run game going in there at all. Latavius, I don't even know if our running backs even made a first down in that game. I think they were only able to get off like 3 yards at a time. So they were on it. They were definitely on it when it comes to that run game.
Well, you got another running back on your team. You play quarterback.
But he didn't run either.
You just run enough to get did y'all get the yard y'all needed to get though? That's what we're gonna come back to that play he's talking about as well. Y'all got the yard y'all needed to get. Y'all kept it consistent enough. That's the only thing we're talking about. Keeping it consistent.
Well, the Ravens
be who you are.
30 times for 102 yards. So
30 attempts. That's more than what we just said about the Steelers. Can I get an amen?
That's about right for us. Somewhere around
about
30 times is good. Is great for Lamar. We definitely don't want him throwing no 40 and 50 times. In fact,
no, he ran the ball 30 times.
Oh, he ran 30 times, Lamar?
No, the Ravens
as a
team
whole.
ran the
Okay,
ball
that's what I was
like
about
30
to say.
times.
Yeah, but you said, but that's what I mean when I say keeping it going, being consistent. 30 times is right where you want to be.
Seem like it, yeah.
But you gotta do that though, because you don't want to give the defense the thought that okay, you're not going to run anymore.
Which is why they kept staying up close and why we were able to open it up on them.
But that was
it didn't seem like we ran 30 times though. It really didn't seem like it.
It just, you know what it is? It's just the Baltimore Ravens way to me. Like even if I just expect to look at a box score every week and see at least 27 to 35 rushing attempts.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes them who they are. That's why they get to the playoffs every year.
Right. Here's the thing for me, and we're moving on. That to me that makes the Ravens. That's why I like the Ravens, because the other teams know what you're going to do, and they have to try to stop it. And most of the times they don't. The Bucs beat the Patriots 19-17. That turned out to be a much different game than I thought it was going to be. If anybody want to speak on it really quick, though, we got to move on.
No Gronk, no Gio Bernard. That's the difference in the game. I seen a lot of Leonard Fournette in his hands. Whoo, child. Whoo. I'm gonna buy him some hands for Christmas. Him and OJ Howard. Whoo, Lord.
He ran the ball well though. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry.
But where did they miss in the passing game? Some of these screenplays that y'all seeing from the Bucs, I'm just gonna tell y'all, the all 22 angle says that these would be big gains if they had the right guy behind them running. They either on the ground or Leonard Fournette is on the ground. It's bad, y'all. That's all I got to say.
Go ahead, Jay. You want to say something?
No, I kind of figured that Belichick was going to have a sort of kind of game plan for Tom Brady. I mean, he played against him. He was on his team for 20 years, so he knew what he could do and what he's capable of. So I kind of figured he was going to get his defense ready. But Mac Jones played really good. Like, we just going to disregard that. Like, he played really good. Even though the Bucs defense is not that this year, I will give it to him. But he played really good, though.
Yeah, he played for a rookie. That was exceptionally well. 31 for 40, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but I mean, yeah, that was exceptionally good. Like I'm not mad at that at all. Can he stay that way though? Can he do that consistently? We'll see. Chargers beat the Raiders 28-14.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why that gave me so much satisfaction. And I like David. David, that's his brother, Derek Carr. But I don't know, and I like Darren Waller. But I guess I just wanted to see the Chargers do well. I guess. But so far, they beat the Raiders and the Chiefs in their division. So
do the Chargers run the AFC West now?
I wouldn't
I
say
don't
They're
know
the
about
best.
that.
I think they're the best team top to bottom in the AFC West.
Yeah, right now.
well because they have a defense. Because the Chiefs have the best offense, most definitely, but they don't have a defense. They have the Honey Badger.
The Honey Badger, and then and then the rest of the Jackson Five. You're right. You ain't lying about that.
All right, so second quarter, we
Heartbreak Hotel.
way behind right now. I wanted to talk about, and we mentioned that play at the end of the Ravens game where they went for the 5 yards to keep that record, to tie the record rather, for 40, I think it's 43 straight games with 100 yards rushing or more. Are records really that important? Like, is breaking a record that important? And if so, like, what makes why is it that important? I'll start with you, Gina.
Oh, you said Gina?
Yes.
So, are breaking records important? I would say it would depend on the team. For a team like the Ravens, a rushing yard type of record, that means something to the Ravens. To some other team where passing is their thing, maybe not. And it was also against a record that was held by our division rival for all these many years. So I think that's cool, and I think you take all the little wins along with the big win. We had already gotten a big win. We won the game. An opportunity was laid in our lap because they tried to get a last-minute garbage touchdown. I mean, that's really the only reason why I was able to happen, is because they tried to get a touchdown at the last minute. It got intercepted by Avery. We got the ball back. There's 3 seconds on the board. We can get 5 yards. It's like what? So I think it depends on
But
what
I mean,
the record
not just the Ravens, but just breaking records in
I
general.
mean, apparently it is. The media makes it out that way. Just like Tom Brady in the game that he played, he only needed 68 more yards, I believe it was, to get past Drew Brees. Like, it's the media that, like, I didn't know anything about a rushing record. So the media is the one that brings, all of this stuff out. I'm sure the historians, the teams have their own historians who's tracking things of like, hey, this is where we are. So they knew this going into the game. It doesn't mean more than winning the game, in my opinion. Definitely not. But if you can get that along with the win, why not?
All right, Jay, what about you?
It depends. For me, no, I don't think the record is that serious to me. Ben just broke a record he got 400 touchdowns in his career. So apparently we had to wait to get that because the offense is not producing like it's supposed to. But for me, no, records isn't that big of a deal to me. So, I mean, the thing is for me with the Broncos and the Ravens, if you had a problem with what they did, you should have stopped them.
Absolutely. Jeremy, anything to add?
Man, records are subjective. Some records mean more than others. And I agree with what both Jay and Gina said. It just really depends on the team too. I mean, I just think one of them situations is like this. At the end of the day, why are we crying over somebody going for records? Why are we crying about somebody running the ball? I hate to be the person to keep saying stop them, but you gonna keep letting somebody hit you in the mouth, or eventually you're gonna have to fight back. And that's just kind of what this is at this stage. Like, stop crying. I cry too much.
All right, I want to talk quickly about the Hall of Fame. So I was watching Deion Sanders on 2 different platforms recently, and he was talking about that he believes they need what he called a upper room for the Hall of Fame, meaning that certain Hall of Fame players should be put even higher, some kind of way in the Hall of Fame, because he feels like that uh, in recent years, it's been too easy for people to make it to the Hall of Fame. Um, he didn't name anybody specific other than, well, he said Brett Favre. He was having a conversation on one of the platforms with Brett Favre, and Brett Favre agreed that he should be up there, and he agreed that Brett Favre should be up there in that room. But what do you guys feel about that? This time I'll start with you, Jer.
Okay. What's the criteria for the upper room?
That I don't. He didn't really give one, but I mean, what's the criteria for making it to the Hall of Fame? Period. Because it's not that.
Well, here's the problem. If we compare eras, we would have to break down the Hall of Fame into eras. That's the first thing we would have to do, because you would have to take Norv von Brock and what he did as a quarterback, and then you have to separate it from what Otto Graham did. Then you have to separate that from what Joe Montana did. Then you have to separate that from what Peyton Manning did. Then you have to have a whole nother category for Tom Brady.
Right.
But then, but watch this. Then you got to have a whole nother category for Kaepernick, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and everybody else. Because you have to separate each position by accolades, talent, but most importantly, but besides accolades and talent, you have to separate it by production. And that's something else that we have to talk about. Deion was the best at his position. The only reason why Deion stands strong or something like that is because there's no corner who challenges him on his throne.
Nope.
Revis didn't stay around long enough. Champ has a resume, but Champ doesn't have the resume that makes him stand up to Deion.
Right. He's the closest to me. He's the closest there ever been to Deion.
You see what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? But and Revis was the most dominant we've ever seen since Deion. And then Champ has the greatest resume. So then it's easy for him to say that, but then can we go and say that about somebody like Troy Polamalu? Can we go and say something about Ed Reed? If Ed Reed had come out and said that, everybody would have been mad at Ed Reed because Ed Reed is the greatest free safety we've ever seen. So it's hard to say something like that and then stand on it because it's certain players that just don't get challenged. The only player that would have challenged Ed Reed was Sean Taylor. He came from Miami too.
Yeah, but we
rest
know
of these folks. Yeah, like come on, man. Like, hey, man, tell Deion go sit down somewhere with that. Deion always like to start something, man.
What do you think, Jay?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to go with Jerm said. You have to break them down into, criteria that, certain people have to go here, certain people have to go there, certain positions. And like you said, no one has not even close to Deion Sanders. So, like, it's his ego talking. That's all it is.
And just real quick,
Okay.
can I say this one thing real quick before we pass it? And this is a great segue right into you, Gina. That means Lamar Jackson is already a Hall of Famer. I want to make sure we say that because there was no quarterback in the history of this game that has run for more yards or has been that electric with the ball. Michael Vick wasn't that electric with the ball.
Right.
None of them. That means Lamar Jackson, by your criteria, should already be in the stage of the Hall of Fame.
All right, Gina, what do you say?
I think he will. He get a couple Super Bowls, and I think that'll shore that up. But you know what? I talked about this when you told me about it. I spoke about it on Clubhouse to see what people thought. And I sat here and listened to what you guys have said. And honestly, at the end of the day, no, you don't need all these different. I don't think you need all these different levels. Like, in my opinion, it doesn't seem to be that easy to get in. I actually don't like who decides that gets into the Hall of Fame. And that's something I did bring up on Clubhouse. I feel like the panel should be composed of different people from different walks. So it shouldn't be only the media. I think the media should be a component of it. I think previous NFL players of some type should be a component of it, or maybe previous and current. I think fans should be a component. Like, I think it should be different people. Maybe they're not all the right people, but I think it should be different people from different backgrounds to get to contribute to that conversation, like not just the media. That's my one thing. But
okay. Go ahead.
Oh, But no, I don't know that you necessarily need it. If you want to just have some special thing that you do, you know how they do the top 100, and then they do the NFL 100 years or something. Like if they just want to do some kind of special accolade for people who are in the Hall of Fame, but like why? Like you're in there, you made it, you got your gold jacket, you know, you did what you need to do to get there. Like why? So somebody else gets in there that maybe you think shouldn't have got in there, and maybe that's because it's all judged by the media, and who knows what influences they have had. But still, you're in there. So I'm just saying, be happy with yourself. You're in there. You got your gold jacket. Everybody knows what you did. They know how you did it, and just be happy about that. And don't hate on hate on players today, because I think the only reason to say that is because you think that there's somebody in there that shouldn't be in there. Because like otherwise, what's the point of this conversation? What's the point?
Right. I agree with that. I also think that the Hall of Fame players, though, should probably be picked by either the Hall of Famers that are already there or current players, even maybe. I don't know. But speaking of Hall of Fame, I wanted to touch real quick on black quarterbacks going to the Hall of Fame. Um, there's only one black quarterback in the Hall of Fame currently, and that's Warren Moon. Do you think that because of the black quarterbacks that we have playing nowadays, is there going to be a larger influx of black quarterbacks going to the Hall of Fame, or is it just going to be the same old, because they were more athletic running, they weren't statue pocket quarterbacks that they're not going to make it there? I'll start with you, Jay.
No, I think that the black quarterbacks that we have now, most of them run for yards that they want. So I feel like it shouldn't matter if they're not a pocket passer or if they are a quarterback who takes off running. Like I feel like the how many black quarterbacks we have? Like 5, 6.
We got Russell
More than
Wilson,
that.
we got Lamar, we got
Wait a
Kyler.
minute. Was your question is how many have we had total, or how many do we
No,
have
how
right
many
now?
we have like right now? Like 6,
okay.
7,
You probably have about 10, 15 in the league now.
I mean,
10,
starting.
15
Well,
starting.
Brissett and Tua are on the same team, so that's 2 right
Yeah,
there.
sure.
Then you still have to include the fact that Bridgewater's on the team.
Mhm.
Then besides Bridgewater, you got Jameis. You have Patrick Mahomes, Russ, Geno Smith is still in the league. It's a
He
lot
is?
of it's
He's not
yes,
starting
Yeah,
though.
yeah, he is.
but we saying how many black quarterbacks in the league. I thought that was a general question, like how many
Right, but
black
that's why I
quarterbacks.
said, does he mean starting?
Yeah, got you. Well, see, I mean, we got different
Well,
criteria in our head,
throughout history, there has been a total of 105 black quarterbacks. A lot of them I had never heard of when I was doing the research, but there's been 105 black quarterbacks. Only 2 black quarterbacks have won Super Bowl, and that's Patrick Mahomes and Doug Williams. The weird thing is Doug Williams is not even in the Hall of Fame, though. Not that he was. I'm not saying he was a great quarterback, but
Well, Russ won one too.
who?
Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3
I'm about to
quarterbacks.
say.
My bad. I forgot about him. And then for quarterbacks who have played in the Super Bowl, we have Doug Williams, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb, Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only black quarterbacks that have actually played in a Super Bowl. Obviously, most of them lost. Only 3 have won. But I feel like that they're going to have to. Let me put it this way. This will make it plain and simple. How could you not put Russell Wilson in the Hall of Fame first ballot? How could you not?
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer though. Right now,
you don't think he's a first ballot?
He's not a first ballot right now. He still got some time. He'll get in the Hall of Fame, but he's not first ballot. First ballot Hall of Fame is a guy that you say I can't deny this guy. He's not a guy that you can't say I can't deny him on the first trip because it's going to be subjective to who's in his class. if he retires the same year as Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Let's just throw some names out there. Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Let's say Adrian Peterson, some other people like that. He would be the person that would get left off the list because he wouldn't be the guy that those other guys are. Now, if he retires in a class, if he retires and he's in a class that he's the best player in, oh, for sure. But it's subjective to your class.
Well, how many people do they take out of a class? That's what I don't know.
I think it's like 7. It's between 7 to 9. 7 and 9, because I've never seen because then they got coaches that they'll do. Occasionally they do like analysts and stuff like that. I think it's between 7 and 9. But I mean, but you see what I'm saying? Like it's so subjective because you don't know who he's gonna be in a class with. And by the time Russ retire, you never know, man. This Brady character say he want to play till he's 50. Russ may play until he's 40. Them two dudes may retire and be in the same class. And it'll be something that'll be tragic for him if they make a criteria where they only got to pick one quarterback.
I still
and you know how they move the goalpost all the time, Bobby. They always move the goalposts.
That's true.
So that's true. So we don't know what the future Hall of Fame rules is going to be either. But Russ will be in the Hall of Fame. If Pat continues to get better and Pat continues to win, you can't deny what Pat has done anyway. Donovan McNabb one day should be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that.
I can't argue with Donovan McNabb being in the Hall of Fame because the only reason why he didn't win is because he just ran into better teams than his.
Right.
You know,
it's kind of that same NBA syndrome with John Stockton and Karl Malone.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You just went up against 12 on a bad day. Losing to Tom Brady and beating Tom Brady is not the worst thing, but it's the best thing that could happen to your career. Look at Nick Foles. Nick Foles got 3 starting jobs because he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. We're building, then gave up, and I'm sitting Malcolm Butler. That just goofy stuff.
Well, if that would literally be a taken into account, then that means Eli would be a Hall of Famer.
Eli will be a Hall of Famer. You know why?
He beat him twice.
And you know the reason why? Because he's a man.
His last name is Manning.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Hey, Kira, say it again, Gina. Go ahead, girl. Say it again, girl. No, I'm just being honest. We got to be realistic about it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, some of these guys, they already project Trevor Lawrence to be a Hall of Famer.
I think that's a little bit too soon. That's a lot of it too soon.
But I agree with you 135% because we don't know what these players are going to be when they come into the league. You know,
right.
So there will be more black quarterbacks. I think Michael Vick should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna tell y'all why.
The thing that he did with the Doves is not gonna get him in there.
See, and this is where we got to separate sports from people.
Absolutely.
We got to start separating the man from the game because at the end of the day, I don't like it. Because Terrell Owens. You mean can you name 5 receivers in the history of this game?
What's the face should both be in T.O. and what's the other one?
I know what you talk about.
I call it the Pete Rose syndrome because that's a different sport. Major League Baseball won't let Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame because he actually gambled on the game.
Because he should be in.
He's one of the best players in baseball history, so why not? Like what your personal life should have nothing to do. If you're going into a sports Hall of Fame, it's your sport. It's what you played and how you played that should matter. Doesn't matter necessarily what you did in your personal life. I mean, there are probably exceptions to that, but
at the end of the day, I don't see this happening with other pigmentation people, and that's what I'll wear. And I'm gonna say that. And I ain't listen. It's the No Pro Football Show, and that's how we gonna put that right there.
I know that's right. All right, third quarter, folks. Third quarter. Well, you've never been on here, Jeremy. So we're going to pick our gangster of the week and our wankster of the week. I guess we'll start.
I like that. Okay.
All right, Gina, we can start with you. We're gonna do one at a time. Who's your gangster?
So surprisingly, my gangster of the week, y'all, is Javonte Williams. Come on. I gotta say, Javonte, even though it was against my own team, but that dude had giving Marlon a piggyback ride for 20 yards down the field.
Right,
and,
right, right.
and went through like it was like 4 or 5 of our players, and this dude was still going down the field. Like, I mean, it was against my team, so it hurt my feelings, but at the same time, I was like, woo, because I get excited about that. The yards after contact, come on. So that play, although it was horrifying to see it at the time, but honestly, that was a great play. I love players that get it done. They get yards after contact. I love it, and that was just a beast move. So I gotta give my gangster to Javonte Williams. Got to.
All right, Jeremy, I'll go to you next. But here's the thing: the qualifications is whatever you want it to be. It could be just a play. It could be stats. It could be whatever. It can also
This is fun. Hey, I got one. I got one for y'all.
A defense,
but it doesn't have to be a player. It could be a team, an offense, a defense, or anything.
I got a player for y'all. My
right,
gangster of the week is Hunter Renfrow. Okay. I watched him single-handedly from a punt return place run and jar a ball from somebody who was trying to get a first down.
That was gangster.
On fourth down.
Right.
Listen.
That was definitely gangster.
Right.
That's
way back. Right.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that play was. I like that play.
Here's the part that got me. He's a offensive player. Did you see the perfect form on the tackle though?
That's why he a gangster. That's why he a gangster. We gangsters. Y'all like McLovin? We gangsters.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that dude was only 5 yards from the first down. What,
he was
5,
like,
maybe 10?
It was like 3. He was like 3 yards away because he was trying to turn to catch it.
And Renfrow ran from all the way back. I was like, how did that even happen?
I know that dude walked off the field on the sideline cursing like crazy. Like, what the? All right, Jay, who's yours?
I'll give mine to Trayvon Diggs. He balling out for the Cowboys. That boy, he leads the lead in interceptions. He got 5 interceptions. That's more than half the NFL. That's more than half the 32 teams.
He's fun to watch, man.
For sure.
Diggs,
he is fun to watch.
Those Diggs boys. What's up with those Diggs boys? What did their mama feed them?
He's the last year too.
He's my favorite Alabama corner. I like him better than I like Marlon, and I liked him better than I like Surtain. He just does everything well, and he's so smart.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a player, man. I love that player.
He really
definitely has the future in this league. My gangster is going to be Taysom Hill just because of that beast mode impression, imitation. Like man,
running them over.
He was giving it to him. He was giving them all of that. They probably was sitting on the sideline. Was like, that was a white guy. He's a quarterback. Dude, he gave them all that they could handle. All right, so let's go to the wankster side of things. This time we'll start with Jerm.
Oh, my wankster of the week is 6 in Cleveland, man. Let me tell you why you a wankster. Because you need to stop fronting, acting like you that dude like that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I just think at the end of the day, when the Browns win, the Browns have finally gotten to that stage. I think everybody here will agree that they're starting to win football games because they're the more talented team. They're not dominating these games that they should be dominated. They had the Chiefs in their hands, and they let them get away because you made terrible plays down the stretch. Baker, you's a whack MC.
All right, hey, who's yours?
Wankster. Wow. I'm gonna go with my own team's offense. They need to get together, bro. It's looking real nasty out there.
All right, Gina, who's yours?
My wankster for sure is Fangio. Like, come on, dude, sit down. That is my wankster for sure. Y'all lost the game. You were I'm okay. Be mad you lost the game. That's okay. But you a crybaby. Like you didn't throw your thing down because you lost the game. You threw down your headset microphone because we went and got 5 yards, and then brought up some bull crap about player safety again when y'all tried to score a trash touchdown in the last, like coach said, I don't know of any place where it's a 16-point touchdown. So you had already lost the game, and you want to talk about it was player safety. It was bull crap. It was bull crap, and he is definitely the wankster. Like, dude, like seriously, I couldn't get over that. And talking about that's their mo. I know them. Like he literally tried to slander our organization. Move on to next week, son. Move on to next week. Y'all lost. That is my wankster.
Not son though. Not the shun. Not the shun.
All right, my wankster was Fangio, but she stole that. So I think my wankster is going to be the Tennessee Titans defense. Just plain and simple. When y'all gonna show up? When are y'all gonna show up? Y'all did all that last year, jumping on people's center field emblems and all that type of stuff. When y'all gonna show up? Do you let a rookie quarterback, a rookie coach, a rookie head coach rather, come in there and throw 27 on y'all? Whatever, Wankster. All right, fourth quarter. I want to talk very briefly because we've like way over time about this new playoff system that they have now with the 7 on each side. What do you guys feel about that? I feel like they did that because they were trying to make up for. It seemed like almost every year, some team with a horrible record, usually from the NFC East, makes it to the playoffs, and then some other team with a better.
Well, at least
record,
you know your own division.
I mean, some other team with a better record doesn't make the playoffs. So I feel like they were kind of trying to make up for that without actually going to, okay, just the 6 best teams over here, the 6 best teams over here. Rather than doing that, they just added another team on. But how you guys feel about the new playoff system? We start with you, Jay.
I don't know, up and down about it because I feel like there are teams who have been like third place in their division or second place who should have made the playoffs, and they actually have advanced farther than the team that won the division. But I also think it's bad because you don't get that 2 seed don't get the bye anymore. So only one team's getting the bye, and everybody that's in that conference is trying to fight to get that one bye. So yeah, that's the only bad thing I don't like about it.
Well, I think that actually makes it a little better to me. But go ahead, Gina. What do you think?
It depends on where you're sitting. Like if you are in the original 1 through 6, you like, yeah, because we straight, we don't need anybody extra. Like, why? That's just making more work. But if you that one team that get in on that last spot, you like, hey, you like it. So it just depends on where you're sitting in that. I mean, at the end of the day, whoever is destined to win is going to win, regardless if it's extra 2 spots, extra 3 spots, extra, like, I don't know. I just feel like destiny is destiny, but it just depends on where you sit. I'm not even personally not concerned about everybody else. I'm just concerned about the Ravens getting in and winning this Super Bowl. That's all I'm concerned about. And whoever we got to go through, we got to go through. So that's where I sit. I mean, it does kind of, to your point, it does kind of make you mad when a team is like 10-7, or let's say last year 10-6, and they were sitting home on the couch watching. Whereas another team that finished like 8, right, and 7-9, and they in the playoffs. Like that does seem like it's just not right. It's just not right because your entire division sucks. So that is a part too. But I don't think they did it for that. It's more money, more money, more money. At the end of the day, the NFL is all about more money. More teams in the playoffs means more playoff games, which means more contract money from these television stations. They got to make up for the money that they lost last year because of the pandemic. That's all it is. It's money.
All right, Jared, what do you think?
You brought up one of my favorite movies all time because I love Mo Money. You know, what money can't buy you happiness. That's my jam right there. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like it though, And the reason why I like it is because in these situations, this is where you want to be as a veteran team. You want to be 5, 6, or 7. Why do you want to be 5, 6, or 7? That means you get to play your best football the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And only thing you want to do is get in the big dance. Jaquan, last year, what did I say? Nephew, I said, all the Bucks got to do is get in the dance. I said that all year. I said, it doesn't matter what your record is. Throw the records out the door.
Right.
All you want to do is get in the dance, because that's when we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen after that. It's a one-game scenario. That's what we love about our game so much. It is a one-game scenario. I got to outplay you one time.
Yep.
That's what makes the football the sport that it is today. So I like it. I like the extra game or the extra little wild card game that we get. I like both ways. I like it. I like it the way it is. It don't bother me not one bit. 7 teams, that means one team get a bye. And eventually, to the point, we in the playoffs. They may make it 8 teams. You know the NFL, they greedy. They may make it 8 teams and say ain't no bye.
Yeah,
that would be. I actually don't think I would have an issue with that though.
Probably because eventually we're going to go from 17 games a season to 18 games a season.
Right.
Yep. About what? About 3 to 5 years. That's where we headed.
Well, if they do that though, they gotta expand the roster. Though they gotta let that 53-man roster go up to like 60.
They need to do that now, though.
I agree.
Well, yeah, they do.
They need to do that now.
Yeah, they need
it
to
needs
do
to go to
definitely
60.
do. Right.
It needs to go to
Especially
60.
these injuries, these kind of big injuries taking these players out every year.
Right.
And the PUP list only lets you activate after a certain amount of time. Travis Etienne was lost for the season because he got hurt at a certain deadline, before a certain deadline, which means he can't even come back for the rest of the season. If you're going to put these restrictions and these deadlines in place, you got to allow the rosters to expand.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yes, absolutely. All right, folks. Now we at our blitz pick that I've explained to Jeremy because he's new. So the blitz pick is you have to pick one team that's going to win this coming week. It can't be the same team that anybody else picked, and it can't be a team that you can pick again during the rest of the season. So let's say, for example, if you pick the Bills to win, you can't pick the Bills no more this season. Not at all. So that's the way it works.
I like it.
So since he's less familiar with the situation, I'll give him some time to think on it, and I guess I'll start with.
I go first.
You go first? Okay, all right.
I go first. Let me look at these kids. Let me look at these.
I just pulled it up. So, guys, we got the Rams Seahawks on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Jets Falcons, the Patriots Texans, the Dolphins Buccaneers, the Eagles Panthers, the Titans Jaguars, the Lions Vikings, the Packers Bengals. We got the Saints and Washington football team, the Broncos Steelers, the Bears Raiders, the Browns Chargers, the Giants Cowboys, the 49ers Cardinals, the Bills Chiefs, the Colts Ravens.
Who the Jets playing again?
The Jets are playing the Falcons.
I'm picking the Jets. Let's go.
That's your team.
He said, "Let's go."
Hey, two weeks in a row. I'm telling y'all this right now. Matt Ryan. I don't know why you even still play football at this stage in your life, bro. You ain't been the same since 2016, my guy.
Yeah, that Super Bowl messed him up mentally for sure.
It really did. It messed that whole city up. No, I talked to Falcons fans on Clubhouse. It messed the entire city up.
Hey, I'm going to give y'all an interesting stat from last year. Only 2 quarterbacks last year completed 400 passes. One of them won the Super Bowl. The other one was Matt Ryan, and he actually completed more passes last year than Tom Brady did. And all that throwing, he still ain't did SH.
So what team did I pick last week, William?
All right, so I'm getting ready to go into that. Before the rest of us pick, I was going to go into. So only one of us was right last week. That's the weird thing. Regina, last week you picked the Saints. They lost.
Oh man.
I picked the Titans. They lost. And Jaquan picked the Chiefs. I mean, that was kind of cheap, but he was.
I mean, you ain't listen. I'm like Michael Irvin on Good Morning Football, game day morning. Go with the
All right.
easier team. You know they're gonna lose.
All right, so who went second last week? I went first. I think
I
Jaquan
want to
did.
say, you ain't write that down?
I only picked who went first because first only really matters. But go
You
ahead,
know, I
Jaquan.
wouldn't even let it matter. Jaquan, why don't you just go ahead and pick your team, bro?
Yeah, go ahead, Jaquan. All right, the Steelers.
He ain't gonna do that.
I mean, I'm not gonna be able to pick them again ever though. Like, I think we capable of winning every game. All right.
Yeah, I looked at him the same way, Gina. Like, that was that Negro, please. They can't win. Y'all ain't capable of winning every game.
We are.
So this ain't that.
Wow, I don't even know.
Gina, do you already have a team?
I think I do.
All right,
Go ahead then.
I'm going to go with man, who was I gonna I was gonna go with the Browns Chargers game and I'm pick the Chargers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your lock? Hey, that's a game.
Go with the Chargers.
I'm gonna be honest, Gina. I'd have stayed away from that one because that can go either way.
Yeah,
it can. It can, but I'm still banking on Mayfield to Mayfield.
Hey, Baker to May he field the ball when they snap it to him.
Oh man!
Wow.
All right, then you go next.
I'm going Patriots over the Texans.
You know, the Texans get no play in my ride. I didn't even want to mention them. They get no play in this ride.
Yeah, I want them to lose every game they play. All right, I'm gonna go with the Giants and Cowgirls, and I'm gonna pick the Cowgirls.
Oh, that's not a lot.
You know what? That's another game that I stay away from because for whatever reason, the Giants play the Cowboys.
Real well. Exactly.
Oh my God, man!
And they division rivals too. Man, I was not going. I saw that
game. It's hard to call it. It really.
You know the game I thought somebody would have picked. Who the Eagles playing?
The Panthers.
Panthers.
I thought that would have been the game. I thought that would have been the game that you double. If you believe in Sam Darnold, that's the game you double down on him.
Nah, I think that can go either way. I think that can go. The Eagles
with the Eagles secondary. With the Eagles secondary
30 points this week and lost. Wasn't that? Oh, they had 20. Did they had 20 or 30?
They had 23.
23. The Eagles, the points they put on the board.
Oh no. They may have scored 30 points against the Chiefs.
They
scored 30 points against the Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't have no defense.
Yeah, I don't know then. I think that Packers. I think that it's going to be the Packers. That's what it's going to be. That Panthers-Eagles game is going to be good, I think.
All right, the creators that brought you Zach Morris is trash. The Chiefs' defense is trash.
It was definitely a pleasure as always, Jeremy. It was great having you on. I hope you come back soon. Or whatever you want. Thank you, folks, for watching and listening. Thank you, folks, for participating to my special guest. And you all can actually do your own outros. Jeremy, you can go first.
Hey man, I just appreciate being invited to the show. This was fun. This was healthy football conversations with such nice and lovely people. I appreciate y'all. But man, just keep. Again, I've got a chance to see the show beforehand before I even got on. I enjoyed the flow. I enjoyed it even more being on. Thanks for having me. But Germ So True, Scene Representative, man. Just make sure you're following. Come back next week. I don't know what they may have for you. I mean, I'll come back whenever they have me on. I'll come back. That's all I'll say.
All right, go ahead, Jay.
I don't have an outro. I'll let y'all later. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Gina, go ahead.
Thanks for having me on again. This is Gina of She Talks Football. Follow me on Twitter at She Talks Football with one L. Very important. That's not a misspell, you guys. It's She Talks Football with one L. Follow me on YouTube, She Talks Football, my YouTube channel. Subscribe. I am a part of the Undroppables platform. So follow the Undroppables Twitter at the Undroppables, YouTube the Undroppables, where you can also see my podcast, and then you can listen to the audio versions of my podcast on Apple, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and some other places. And if you should be so inclined, come and check me out in my clubhouse room where we're talking about what? Football. And guess what? The club is called She Talks Football. So you can definitely jump on Clubhouse, follow my club. We meet every Wednesday night at 8 or 8:30 p.m. And then also I throw up random rooms throughout the week to talk about breaking news or just because I want to talk about football 24/7. So follow the club if you're on Clubhouse.
All right, thank you, folks. Thank you to my special guests. Thank you to everybody out there watching. I hope everybody stays well and excels. Good night, folks.
Good night,
Right.
everybody.